sir. Yeah.
Sputnik of Russia.
Sputnik, yeah. Sputnik virus. That's a. So Sputnik, since it has not undergone all kinds of testings, people are apprehensive about its function. They have taken an existing vaccine developed for flu, and once simple gene change, they tried to convert this into COVID vaccine, and they say it's functioning well, but data is not now sufficient to prove that it's very efficient. So here the stages, I was mentioning about the stages in testing. First any vaccine preparation means, the stages are like this. First is an exploratory stage. That means initially in the laboratory, they prepare all kinds of all types of vaccines, all combinations, and then all concentrations, all those things. They test there. If they feel, this vaccine is generating some kind of an antibodies, after that they will be inserted into human beings like guinea pigs and all that. From animal trials also, it is satisfactorily found that it's creating impact by producing more number of antibodies to attack the virus in very limited time. Then only it will be taken further for expansion. That is the first. Once they are all confirmed, then they have to submit their results. Then it goes to preclinical stages. Second step is preclinical stages. Preclinical in the sense, you are not giving it to the human beings. Targeted people, you are not giving this vaccine, but you are testing. Further testing is there. That means you have a vaccine is produced means the aspects behind development of a vaccine. It's not a simple thing which you are producing and giving it to everybody. There is gender, and there are different ages, different categories of people. Pregnant people are there, old people, people with comorbidities, they are with diabetic, hypertension, and similar kind of problems, people with similar kind of problems. People belong to various ecoclimatic conditions, and people with different various socio-economic conditions linked to hygiene. All these things you need to study before you are developing one particular thing, before you are going to human trials. Everything is to be tested. Then only it's called a vaccine which is going to be powerful. Without doing all these things, for this, how much time does it take? It itself takes about 2 to 3 years. Then you will come out of your 150 samples, probably these 4 or 5 combinations, 4 or 5 samples found to be effective. Then you start administering 4 or 5 samples to the public, general public, diseased public. These have to be done, and of all ages, of all areas, all over the country. Results are to be pooled, and then one simple dosage will not be sufficient. For the same person, you need to give 2 to 3 doses, and then you will have to decide what is the dosage. How many doses are required for an infected individuals? Depending upon the infection, what is the quantity you need to give? With what frequency you have to give? All these things have to be decided all over the world. That means how much time does it take? You yourself will be able to visualize. Now, here, clinical trials, after preclinical trials, there are clinical trials. Clinical development takes into 4 stages. Phase 1, giving to 60-70 people at a place. Phase 2, it is extended to hundreds of people. Phase 3, extended to thousands of people. Phase 4, all areas of a country, everywhere more than thousands of people. That means very large number of trials are there. That means each trial will not be concluded in a month. Like we are doing 1 month phase 1, 1 month phase 2. This is not the procedure. World Health Organization, as per its process, you will have to at least know 6 months to 1 year is required for each phase of trials. Now, I'm saying 3 trials or 4 trials, 4 phases will be there. After that, the 4th step is it applies any company which is developing a vaccine. With all these results, it applies for a license. The 5th thing is when it the licensing company, every government, every country will have an authority that gives license to a vaccine which is produced there within the country. When it's coming from outside, then also the permissions given by that country, again they will be reviewed by this country, and then it is allowed to give it to the public. These kind of trials, by compiling all data, by analyzing all data, only when they confirm themselves that it's not going to be harmful to any kind of a person with whatever disease, with all restrictions, precautions, all those things, then that particular organization, no, Food and Drugs Administration or board, whatever it is, whatever you call it, ICMR, whoever has got the power to give permission to a license, they will give after satisfying themselves. Then license comes. After license, commercial production starts by the companies. Once the commercial production is done, then it is given to the public under the supervision of the government. It will not be directly given. It will not be initially, it will not be given directly by any company to a ordinary individual, citizen. It is all administered by the government agencies. That means when a vaccine is required, now vaccine which is already present for 10 to 12 years, then you have an access, all governments, now all hospitals have an access to it. But initially, when a vaccine is developed and the government wanted to give it to all citizens, it was being administered by the government or government health centers only, government hospitals only, not by the private health agencies. So government takes care of administering, it will have control of the vaccine use, and government decides what is the priority of using, what segment of people are prioritized for using this vaccine. It's a phase manner, it comes into this. To produce vaccine which is required for 130 crores of Indians, it will not less than 6 months time is required to get those many doses. I'm talking about only one dose. If after 3 months another dose is to be given to these individuals, all companies have to go into production for one more additional cycle of 3 months or 6 months, whatever it is. So why I'm saying all these things is that a vaccine conception, design, production of a vaccine is not an easy thing, and it cannot be done by every small company. Lot of stringent procedures are there to produce it, to test it, getting a license, and then commercial production. Even then you are not sure to buy a vaccine outside, but it is controlled by the government. Every country have got a mechanism to give these licenses to their own companies, and we are talking about WHO, World Health Organization under UN. WHO doesn't have authority in licensing vaccine production to anybody. Vaccine production is basically a country's priority prerogative. WHO decides only processes, standard operating procedures, and then incidence of disease in various countries, and the requirement based on the incidence, prevalence of the disease, aggravation of the disease, what countries need to be given this vaccine on a priority basis. These coordinated activity will be handled by WHO, but it's not a decisive authority in deciding production or usefulness of a vaccine produced by any company. I think I am clear. Then we have 4 kinds of vaccines. Currently 5 vaccines now are in the market, which are coming now. I told you in next 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, 4 or 5 vaccines are in the advanced stage of testing. Oxford vaccine, Oxford AstraZeneca. This is a British developed vaccine. It is a vector-based vaccine. That means no, already a virus is there, just like Sputnik. A virus already vaccine is prepared for a virus, for a flu, and then a part of the DNA is introduced into that vaccine, so that this introduced part converts, see, the body mechanism when it is given as a vaccine, automatically what kind of an antibodies generate and then destroy flu virus. Similarly, antibodies would generate by the body and attack this virus also. Flu virus and this COVID virus, they are genetically almost similar, but with a minor variations. And this COVID virus is also not maintaining its original form, but wherever it is going, due to various changes, various aspects, it is changing its original structure. With little changes are coming everywhere. That is why some are immediately virulent, where some of the places, in some of the cases, the infection is severe, it is giving mortality. But in some of the cases, very light symptoms are there and people are not threatened with life. See, people are unable to judge what kind of a virus is there, COVID virus is there in whose body. Yesterday, somebody means dead because of COVID virus. In the same vicinity, some other person is infected with COVID. There is no guarantee that the virus which caused somebody dead, the virus is present virus is similar to that virus. No, it can't be said. They call it a mutation. That means original form is not maintained by the virus. It is getting changed every often. That is why when you take the genetic component of the virus, 30 to 40 variants will be there in that virus. That's why somewhere it is very harmful, somewhere it is light, somewhere people are coming out of it, somewhere no symptom is found, you call it asymptomatic cases. One survey, governmental survey, reported at least 12% of the, here in Telangana, 6.6% of the total population, approximately it's about in India, it's reporting about 75, 65, 67 lakh cases, but otherwise they are saying 12 crore people would have suffered with their knowledge or without their knowledge. COVID has impacted 12 crore people. That means how many kinds of viruses are there in the atmosphere in the country? It's anybody's guess. Moderna, I told you Oxford virus. Similarly, another virus is called Moderna BioNTech, which is developed by Pfizer company. And this is an American company. This has developed an mRNA-based vaccine. mRNA-based vaccine means here only a particular gene of mRNA or DNA is introduced into flu vaccine. That is Oxford vaccine. Instead of a particular bit of mRNA, entire mRNA is used as a vaccine in American vaccine called Moderna. Our Santa Biotech is using dead organism in the vaccine, so that when it is coming, similar kind of a vaccine, it's coming here, enters into the body, automatically antibodies will join. All vaccines ultimately they are only meant for developing immune system, developing more antibodies by the human body immune system. Here, the best viruses, but these viruses are very specific. Vaccines are specific. It's not that one vaccine developed for one disease will work for another vaccine, another disease, another virus. No. Virus also, it is causing some kind of a disease in some particular individual organism. Similar kind of a impact will not be there in another organism. Virus is also host specific. Disease is also specific. Likewise, vaccine is also very specific. Sputnik virus, again, I told you, it is also again now a gene basis. Biotech or Bharat Biotech is a dead vaccine, dead organism is inserted into the vaccine. Oxford is a live one. Moderna is an mRNA based vaccine. And some of the vaccines are developed only toxic based vaccines. When body is suffering, what toxic substance is released by the organism, that particular toxic substance in minor quantities will be used in the preparation of a vaccine by those companies. Prevalently, these 4 or 5 advanced vaccines which are currently coming up in the market, they are in these stages. I think I have covered up to the, covering the current content with relation to COVID disease, impact, vaccines, up to the vaccines which are being developed for our safety. I have covered this. With this, I have covered broadly microorganisms, various types of microorganisms, disease causing, harmful, harmless, and benefits of the microorganisms in various kinds of industries like food industry, water, sewage, and then preparing some of the products and some of the chemicals. All these things we have discussed yesterday. Today, I have concentrated more on viruses, structure, their shapes, their function of a virus on a host body, and then what is a DNA, RNA, and what are the antigens, antibodies, human immune system, and then how many kinds of vaccines are there, how a vaccine is prepared, how a vaccine is tested, how a vaccine is certified, and then what are the current vaccines which are coming up in the market for eradication of COVID disease. Up to this point, we have covered.